Welcome back to the Nuptial Nonsense Podcast, brought to you by Oak and Willow Event Co. I'm your host, Valerie. My co-host, Riley, she's not here today, guys. She got called into a shift at the emergency room she works at, and well, that's pretty important. So it's all good. We were going to do family dynamics today. We're going to save that until our next episode so that Riley is here, and hopefully my niece will also be able to join us. She's sick today. There's like some craziness going around just with like sinus, cough, whatever. She can keep all that. Okay. So we're going to do a little frequently asked questions episode. I did have to write it down because I can't remember them all. So anyway, hope you enjoy it. Here we go. So I asked this question on my Instagram the other day just because I was curious, because I've heard several things over the past few years. So this is something that I asked, not that was asked of us, but it is, how would you describe our team? So they said that we're friendly, which I love that because that's important. We're organized, we're professional, we're helpful, we're chill, which I'll touch more on that in just a second. We are knowledgeable, we are connected as far as like the vendor community. That is one thing I will say about this area. I obviously cannot speak for other areas, but for like, we're based out of close to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And so I work a lot in the Chattanooga area. And I will say that like the vendor community here is like, it's not, at least in my experience, it's not quote unquote competitive. It's very much about building the relationship with people, networking with people. I have several planners and coordinators that if somebody reaches out to me and we're booked, I refer them out to these people. I have seen their work. I know people that have worked with them. So I love that about this is like, number one, I love that people think that I'm connected, but also that this area, like this community, is so not about competition. Like it is about camaraderie, being a friender with your vendors. Anyway, they also said that we are advocates and cheerleaders. That is something that I strive to be. Definitely a cheerleader. It's your day. I want things to go well. I want them to be, everything to be as close to perfect as possible, but also your advocate for sure. It is my job that I take very responsible to advocate for what you want. Now, you being the bride, the groom, the couple, a lot of times the grooms don't care, like in a bride-groom situation. A lot of the times the groom is just like, okay, whatever she wants is fine. Just tell me when to show up. Sometimes it is the opposite though. I have had where the bride's like, yeah, I really don't care. Like, and the groom is way more into it. So, you know, it's not as common, but then sometimes the couple is equally invested. They've kind of pick the parts that were important to them and really kind of focused on that and kind of like taking the lead on that within the planning dynamic. So whatever that looks like for each couple that we work with, I am going to advocate for you. I don't care what your mama wants, what your mother-in-law, what your cousin, what your best friend who used to be a planner, your maid of honor. I do not care. Unless the couple says to me, hey, Val, if my mom asks for XYZ, that's fine. If the maid of honor expresses something to you, just know that that is as if she was speaking for me. Okay, cool. Anybody outside of what we have already discussed, thank you for your opinion. This is what the couple has expressed that they want, and I go on about my business. I have trained my team to do the same. We say it very nicely with a smile on our face, and then we just go on because this day is about the couple, the love that they share, and what they want this day to look like for them. So yes, being an advocate, huge part of what we do. How do we stay calm during events? This question is funny to me, and I have had it asked probably 75% of the weddings that I have been in. How do you stay so calm? How is your team so calm? There's so much to do. How did you guys do all this? First and foremost, we are professionals. This is what you pay us to do. All of these other vendors that are here for that day, they are professionals in their field. We all work together to make this day come to fruition, to hopefully make it, like I said, as perfect to the couple's vision as possible. If I'm not freaking out, you do not need to freak out. I promise. And if I'm freaking out, you will probably never know because we're just going to handle it and go on about our business. Like, that is another reason that you hire a planner or a coordinator, so that you, the couple, your family, your wedding party, but specifically you, the couple, you are the guest of honor for this day. You are not the host. Let me say that again. Couples, you are the guest of honor for this day. You are not the host. That is one reason I think it is so important for people to have, at a minimum, a coordinator for the day, because there are things that are going to happen that aren't planned. I can give you examples all day long on that. I've mentioned it, I think, in the previous podcast too. Part of the job is for us to just handle it, fix it, go buy more plates, go get more napkins. Sometimes we've had to go purchase more alcohol because they didn't have enough or something happened. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things that have happened, but it's important that the couple does not know about it unless it is absolutely necessary. Like, we are paid to handle it. We are paid to stay calm on a high emotion, high stress day, period. Like, point blank, period. That bank. Golly, y'all. See, if Riley was here, she'd have made fun of me for that. So this next question, I've got it recently from a few inquiries that have come in. So as far as like Oak and Willow is concerned, I'll probably do it at some point, but I haven't done like a meet the team, so to speak. So like, essentially our faces are not really like on the social media. Obviously our couples know who we are because they've met with us, they've worked with us, but like up until then, there's no like indication of like, hi, I'm Valerie, I'm the owner and lead planner. Like, hey, this is Hannah. This is like, one of my associate coordinators, like that, you know what I mean? So, we are definitely not one person. While I am sort of like the head of the operation at this point, man, if I did not have my team, and I think I've talked about this before, they're phenomenal. Like, there is no way I could do what I do without my team. So I'll just run through them real quick. The basis of the team is Hannah. She is one of my lead associate coordinators. She is training to be a lead coordinator planner on her own. She's going to take on her own weddings, which we are really excited about. She's phenomenal. I've talked about her before, how she coordinated her own wedding back in March of 2024, which is insane, but she did it. She will be on a future episode for sure. I just cannot say enough good things about her. Misty is one of my assistant coordinators. She has been with me from day one. She is a family friend. My whole family knows her. She is absolutely precious. One of the hardest working people I have ever met in my entire life. Oak and Willow would not be Oak and Willow without Misty. She is with me a lot of the weddings. So she's amazing. I just love her so much. We have Cameron. Cameron, I met her actually, her and her mother Gloria. They both work with me sometimes. So I met her actually a wedding that I had March of 2024. Her and her mom were hired by the bride to pick up. She had Mexican food catered from a Mexican restaurant. Her and her mom picked it up, set it up. They have catering experience. They're phenomenal. Again, super hardworking, super nice, very just whatever needs to be done, they're on it. So that's Cameron and Gloria. Cameron has become more of one of my assistant coordinators. I'm probably going to talk to her, spoiler alert, Cameron, in the future about training to be an associate coordinator and then eventually like leading, be a lead coordinator or planner on her own. I think she'd be phenomenal at it. And then Gloria helps with assisting, decorating. Both Gloria and Cameron are available certain dates for if you need serving help, cleanup help, anything like that. They're very knowledgeable in like the catering, serving, staffing world. So that's two of them. My daughter Riley has helped me before. Her best friend, also named Riley, is going to start doing some content creation for us in the 2025 year. So we're really excited about that. That's going to be a new service that we're going to start offering. Also, spoiler alert, current brides. So I'm really excited about that. But she is going to start out doing just like behind the scenes stuff for us on our wedding days. So that's exciting. And then I do have some friends that have helped me out from time to time when I have needed extra hands. So you won't see them a lot. They'll just be kind of scattered here and there. But I'm just really thankful that I do have people in my life that are willing to just pitch in, do what needs to be done, help me out in a pinch. So yeah, Oak and Willow is definitely not just me. That's for certain. I don't know why I have never mentioned this before, but if you see this or listen to this podcast on a platform other than Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, let me tell you what my socials are. I think they're called handles. Y'all know I'm old, so I don't remember. But anyway, you can find us on Instagram. It is Oak and Willow Event Co. _. So it's all one word, Oak and Willow Event Co. with an underscore. Facebook is Oak space, the plus sign, space, Willow space, event space co. And then period after the co. So it's like, I don't know if y'all can see that on the camera, but it's like the brand. It's written out like that. And then TikTok is Oak period Willow period event. Allegedly TikTok is going to go away. I don't know. We'll see. People have said that before. So, I mean, who knows? Anyway, find us on our social medias. Please follow us there. We're posting content from the galleries we get back from the photographers. And then on TikTok, that's probably where we're a little less formal with things, would be on TikTok. Anyway, follow us on our, oh my God, I can't talk. Follow us on our socials. Hold on, I need a drink of water out of my Awala cup. Still not sponsored. Hopefully we will be soon. I guess I need to be tagging them and all the things. Anyway, Awala, we love you. Sponsor us. Let me move it back over here. Did y'all peep the Mario today? We changed it up a little. Okay. One of the next questions I have been asked many times, and it is almost sad to me that people still feel the need to ask this, but I get it, is do we offer services to same-sex couples? I cannot stress this enough. The answer is abso-fucking-lutely. We for sure do. Sorry, Mom, for the F-bomb. I know that there are vendors who do not, and that is so sad to me. I don't, as long as, okay, I'm about to go on a soapbox here and I'm trying to not. Here's the thing. If you and the person you are marrying love each other, are respectful, kind, whatever, that's the most important part to me. Like, I could not care less what your gender is, same gender, different gender. I don't care. That has nothing to do with me and the services that we will provide to you. I try to work with vendors who are LGBTQ plus inclusive. I know that there are some that aren't. And like, unfortunately, that is their decision as the business owner. I'm not going to discriminate either way. Like, I'm not going to not work with a vendor because they aren't inclusive. I tend to not recommend them, just in all transparency, which, I mean, some people probably don't like that, and that's fine. I tend to not recommend them, but I'm not ever just going to be like, oh no, I refuse to work with them. Like, I don't feel like I'm in the position to do that. I'm just not going to do that. But anyway, yes, we do provide services to same-sex couples. I would like to think that myself personally, I know for sure my daughter, and then just the people that we work with, my company in general, we are a safe space for people. Even if I did not agree with something, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying in general, even if I did not agree with something, it is not my place to judge you. That's not ever going to happen. So if you are a same sex couple, you're having a hard time, finding a coordinator or planner, I'm happy to speak with you about it. Absolutely. If your parents don't come, I'll be your parent for the day. Like whatever you need, we're here for you 1000%. Do you travel for weddings? Yes. Yes, please. We love it. We love a destination wedding. I've done a couple so far, nothing like crazy, but just, several states away or whatever. It does come with some additional fees because we do have to have housing, obviously, for however long we're there. And I do charge a little bit to cover like our gas and like some of our meals and stuff. So yeah, we absolutely will. We do charge a little bit extra for that, but yeah, we'll go anywhere that you're willing to pay us to go. So yeah, definitely. Absolutely. My team is so down for whatever. I have presented some really crazy off the wall ideas to them, even locations to them. And they're like, yeah, cool. Like, let's do it. So I definitely appreciate that about them also, is they're very like, I consider myself very kind of free spirited, definitely, we just kind of go where the wind takes me. And the majority of my team is like that too. So I definitely can appreciate that. What packages do we offer at Oak and Willow Event Co? So our two primary packages is we offer a coordination package and we offer a partial planning. So a lot of people talk about, well, is it day of or is it month of coordination? Okay. People get confused about day of and month of coordination. Well, all that includes, and okay, day of coordination is not, you just show up the literal day of. I've talked about this before. It would be almost impossible to execute that efficiently, professionally, accurately. Absolutely not. I changed it recently to like our coordination package is not day of or month of. It's just coordination. It starts about 4 to 6 weeks out. And that's based on like what the couple wants, what they're needing as far as coordination services. All of our packages are individually customized pricing. They do have like a base price that it starts at, but it depends on what the couple needs, what is their guest count, what venue are they getting married at, and location. So there are some venues that I've worked at here locally that obviously the one that I used to work at I'm the most familiar with it. So obviously it's not going to cost as much for us to go there because my whole team knows it like the back of their hand, versus a venue that we've never been to before. We don't know what's their requirements, like what are their expectations of us. It's a little more challenging. So I do charge just a little bit more for stuff like that. So, if you have a guest count of 100, then I'm not going to need to staff as many people if you have a guest count of 200. It also depends on like your tablescape, like how much, are you just wanting a centerpiece and that's it? Cool. I don't need extra help for that. Are you having a 200 person wedding and you want personalized seating at every single table with a full place setting, and also that takes time. So I have to bring in extra people. It costs more money. So it's just a lot of moving factors like that. As far as like the partial planning goes, so basically the difference of those two, which is another question, is what is the difference between it? So the partial planning also has customized pricing based on all the things that I just discussed. But it's more involved from like coordination is more like logistics and execution. Like the couple has pretty much done not all, but the majority of the legwork as far as like finding the vendors, knowing what design they want, knowing their colors, having an idea of a floor plan. They kind of have an idea of how they want the timeline to flow. So I can kind of have a starting point with something to work with. They know kind of like what they want their food to be, if they're going to have alcohol or not, what the alcohol is going to entail, et cetera, et cetera. So they've done a lot of the legwork beforehand. So then the partial planning that I offer is for the couple who needs a little bit more help as far as like all of the aspects really. It comes with more meetings. We do like a monthly Phone call lasts about an hour just to kind of check in, like, this is where we are. This is what I was supposed to do. Here's the answers. This is what you were supposed to do. Where are we at on this? Et cetera, et cetera. It usually starts about 6 to 8 months ish before the actual wedding. And then also you get all like the coordination stuff with it too, obviously. A few little add-ons that we have are, we do offer the serving staff. We offer floral design. That is Hannah's thing. She loves it. I'd let her run with it. That is not for me, but she loves it. We're going to start offering the content creation. I do have some rental items as far as like decoration, bud vases, cylinder vases, floating candles, LED candles, runners, et cetera, et cetera. So with the coordination packages, those do come with a small fee. They're kind of like individually priced. With our partial planning, that is included. Anything that you want to use of mine is included in your partial planning. So that's another one of the differences as far as I'm concerned. Every planner and coordinator is different. I cannot stress that enough. So don't go and say, well, Valerie said on her podcast that every single person includes XYZ. I didn't say that. That is so far from the truth. Everybody is different. Everybody has different pricing. So just keep that in mind, okay? Oh, I'm going to save this one till the end. The question is, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you at a wedding? I got some stories, y'all. We're going to save that. If the couple has started the planning process, can they still hire Oak and Willow? Of course you can. Regardless of what point of the process you're in, like if you're starting to feel overwhelmed, if something happens, like you get a different job and now you don't have as much free time or whatever, and you are like, oh crap, I really need some help. Cool. We'll jump in. We'll talk about which package would best suit you. We can customize that. That's why I customize the pricing, because someone may need more help than the other. And it's not fair that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You just have to take all that into consideration. So yeah, wherever you are in the process, we can absolutely jump in and help you. Whether it's vendor recommendations, help with a timeline that you get stuck on, like at the very minimum, and I know there's going to be people who don't agree with this, and that's fine. Every single couple needs at least a coordinator. Once again, if nothing else, so that you can be the guest of honor at your wedding and not feel like the host. People don't need to be asking you questions at your wedding. People do not need to be asking you, well, when are we eating? Well, where do we put this? Well, where do you want your gift table? Well, then where do we put your cards? No, there needs to be an elected person to deal with that, and it does not need to be your mother. This is a big day for the moms too, okay? So please keep that in mind. Speaking of moms, something I get asked almost every single time people find out that I have this business. What do we do about the bridezillas? What's been my experience with the bridezilla? How do I handle a bridezilla? At this juncture, I have been involved with right around 100 weddings. Okay. I would say of those 100, I've had one that it was the bride. And she wasn't even what I would consider a quote unquote like bridezilla that people think about. She was on top of it. Like she was on her stuff. She had a very clear vision. She printed out pictures. She had a whole booklet of information that was very super helpful for me. It had her vendors, the contact names, her wedding party contact names, maid of honor, like contact information, where they were staying the night before their wedding, like where their rehearsal. I mean, it was just like so detailed and so helpful for me. And when I tell people that, they're like, oh my God, that sounds crazy. It was not crazy at all. It was really helpful. She was so nice about it. She was just like, I just want to help you as much as possible. Like, I know like come the day of, she's not going to be the one doing it, you know? So she just wanted me to like have the tools that I need to like execute her vision again, as close to perfect as possible. She was so chill up until the day of. And I think it was just a matter of like, she was nervous. she had some issues with one of the bridesmaids, which I'm going to go off on that in just a second. But I think it was just a comment. It had nothing to do with me. And I knew that. It was just, I think, like I said, wedding day is a very like nervous energy, high emotion. It can be high stressful. That people have worked and worked and worked. You think about this for years to come. Like you've made all these decisions. You've paid all this money because weddings are expensive, period. Okay. She was just like, can you go? Somebody sent me a picture of XYZ at the reception place. Can you go move it like to the right, like 2 inches? I was like, sure. So we did. And we sent her a picture. She was like, perfect. And then there was something else like about some floral arrangement. And I had put it where we had discussed like the day before. And then she was like, no, I don't like it there, which is fair because sometimes in your head, things look a certain way, but then the implementation is like, oh crap, that doesn't look as good as I thought it was going to. Or, okay, it looks kind of weird in that location. But like, you don't know that until you see it. So I don't know, just a couple little things like that. But I personally would not consider that a bridezilla because like what you see on the movies is like way worse than that. Okay. The biggest thorn in our side on wedding day is the mother of the groom. 98% of the time. And I think it's because wedding days are typically about the bride. This is assuming it's like a bride-groom situation. So maybe the mother of the groom feels like she doesn't have a place that day. She doesn't have a part in the day. She's not had a lot of say-so in it. Maybe her input has not been received well or respected. I mean, there's a lot of moving factors in it, but it's almost always the mother of the groom. So this is my tip to brides out there, other wedding planners. Somebody told me this when I first started, and it's rang true. If you see the mother of the groom is starting to be kind of antsy or kind of rude or nitpicking, number one, it is not about you. Never. It is not about you. People are going to be rude to the planners and the vendors because I'm not saying it's right by any stretch of the imagination, but they're never going to see them again, more than likely. Or if they are, they're not even going to remember who they are, like out at the Walmart, you know? So number one is don't take it personal. Number two is give the person a task. So like I tell brides, if the mother of the groom is acting some type of way, let her pin his boutonniere. Let her help him with his tie. Like let her walk him down to the ceremonies, not the ceremony side, but wherever you guys are meeting, like before line up for the ceremony. Let her have some sort of special moment. Let him have a first look with her, with the photographer. And that's something that like you need to talk to your photographer and your coordinator or planner about. But I mean, that can take 5 minutes, but it still makes her feel special. And she gets to have a special moment with her son. I think that's kind of part of the reason too, is like, maybe they feel like maybe it's not about him on that day, or I'm not really sure. I have girls, so like I can't comprehend that, but that's my pro tip is just give them a task, make them feel important because they are. I mean, if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have the son that you're about to marry. So, just keep that in consideration. Okay, craziest thing that's ever happened to a wedding. Okay, I have 3 stories written down right here. They're not necessarily mine. I'm not admitting that they are or are not. I just know they have happened. So one of the craziest things I've ever seen is there was a lady. She was not drunk. She just happened to slip at a wedding. She ended up breaking her wrist, unfortunately. She was okay other than that. But the photographer caught the shot of her literally feet flying out from underneath her. She was mid-air, and you can see in the shot she was trying to brace herself, and you can see that's why her wrist just snapped. That's one of the craziest pictures I've ever seen. And how in the world the photographer just happened to snap it at that right moment? Wild. Okay. The other one is it was an outdoor ceremony, summertime, so of course there's bugs, insects flying around. A bridesmaid got stung by a hornet underneath her wedding dress during the ceremony and had an immediate allergic reaction. It was a whole thing. I was told. This was not mine. I was not there. But like she literally pretty much, well, she screamed because it hurt, obviously. But then it was like she immediately had to have Benadryl. They had to take her to the emergency room. Like she started swelling up within like a few 30 seconds or so of it happening, literally middle of the ceremony. Like the ceremony comes to a screeching halt because this happened. She is okay. Thank goodness. And lastly, there was a groomsman who was drunk. He allegedly, from what I'm told, was drunk when he came down to line up for the ceremony, which, guys, don't do that. You look crappy in photos. You're red and sweaty. It's disgusting, honestly. So the night goes on. He's drinking at cocktail hour. He's drinking at the reception. The bartender tells him, hey, I'm not cutting you off. Just drink this water for me before I serve you again. Maybe go eat some appetizers or whatever and come back to me. He got pissed, caused a whole scene, ended up he like was aggressive with the coordinator, ended up threatening the coordinator that day. So some of the groomsmen took him, I think, back inside. I can't really remember all the details, but basically was like, dude, chill. He ends up getting into an altercation that ended up being physical with the groom's mother, which is never okay at any altercation, period. Okay. But I can't remember exactly what happened. I think she might have said something to him about, like, this was later on, apparently, like at their reception. But anyway, while dancing was happening, I think she might have said something to him and he like flipped out on her, ended up pushing her, him and the groom, like almost getting into a fight. It was like a whole thing, apparently. Groomsmen, please remember how to act. This day is not about you. And they chose you to be in this wedding for a reason. I mean, I have so many more stories, but we're out of time for today. Maybe I'll tell some next time, but we're going to talk about family dynamics on the next episode for sure. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you again to Build Something Media for this podcast, and we'll see you next time.